All right. Take two.
And marker.
Hello, friends, and welcome to 10 Points Under, where the strats are made up and the points don't matter. I'm True.
And I'm Taylor, aka Bigger Bullfrog.
Bigger Bullfrog?
The big the biggest.
Oh, the biggest. Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan. Anyway, Taylor, what do we have in store for our lovely audience today?
Well, True, let me tell you. Today we've got an incredible game, I'm assuming, between our very own Sir Heroscape. You probably know him from YouTube or Heroscapers. He's pretty prominent on both. He is probably the Heroscape YouTube channel right now.
For now.
By what I mean is the biggest one, the one that most people know about. Not the only one, but he has the most followers as far as I know. And he's really successful at it and does a lot of good videos. If you haven't watched his stuff, go watch it. But yeah, he'll be up on the north, and in the south we have Chris Perkins from our very first video that we did.
Chris Perkins?
I'm back. Yeah.
Whoa. All right. We got a game going.
Yeah, we do. So this game, this is from the first round of the Online Heroscape Season 33 event. It is a tournament that mirrors the main event at GenCon, which is a 410-point reverse the whip. Basically what that means is that you'll bring an army, 410 points, 16 figure limit, and every other round you play your opponent's armies. So this round they're playing the armies that they brought. The next round they'll be playing the armies that their opponent brought, which causes a lot of interesting balancing to happen when you're doing your army building, because if you just bring the strongest army you can think of, that's great. You know, your first round is probably going to be fine, but then you're going to have to be able to beat the army that you brought.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to bring Rats, Raylan, and Range onto this.
Yeah, unless you're really, really confident that you can beat them, which I don't know that anybody is.
Granted, that said, Chris Perkins literally did bring a similar formula to that. He did bring Range, and he did bring Raylan, but he swapped out Rats for Knights.
Yeah, that is correct. Down there on the south, we've got Chris Perkins's army. He brought something that's fairly common for for reverse the whip archetypes, is kind of an order marker salad, you might say. He's got Raylan. He's got one squad of Knights of Weston with Finn the Viking champion. Then he also has two squads of Mesodemons and the Morrow Warriors.
That is a spicy meatball, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how that one plays out. Then Sir Heroscape's army, he brought another fairly similar, well, not similar, but another fairly common GenCon archetype, which is to bring, a more simple army, but one that's easier to play, but lower on the power level, not just the strongest thing he can think of. So he's got 5 squads of Morrow Dividers and Sunlin, which is, as most people probably know, Sir Heroscape's favorite character. So it's kind of like Sir Heroscape himself is making an appearance in this video.
That's right. And also Morrow Dividers. Who would have thought?
Lots of them.
All right. Well, with all that said, we don't have anything to really discuss for the rest of this video, so let's get into it.
Yep, we'll hop right into it. Just as a heads up, though, this is a recording, and thus I was gone when this was recording. I just hit record on my computer and went back to work while the game was being played, so it will not have any mouse movements. We're hoping to be able to get a way to be able to add mouse movements onto the video afterwards. But right now, if I do it, then the play bar shows up, and it's really annoying. So we're holding off on that for now. So without further ado, let's get on into it.
All right. So with these first couple turns with order marks and stuff, I think we should kind of decide who we place our bets on, since we both don't know who's gonna win. Yeah,
I'm down with that. I was actually thinking about this pretty much the whole time I was at work last night, because I had nothing better to do at work. And at first I was thinking that Sir Heroscape would have a pretty strong advantage just with his order marker fluidity that he's got allowed.
Sure.
But Chris Perkins has a lot of strong figures, and yeah, I'm not certain because on an
Um,
individual power level,
hmm,
Chris Perkins's figures are stronger, but the dividers aren't bad.
right. Fighters aren't bad by any means. However, I think what one of the big turning points for this game is going to be is how hot Sir Heroscape's D20 roll is going to be. Because if he can save multiple dividers from dying, that could potentially swing things. That said, Mesodemons are really strong against common squads, along with the Mara Warriors. So I think this is going to be a pretty interesting fight.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see how this turns out. And I think a lot of it also comes down to just how the armies are played. Um, Chris Perkins, you'll see right now, he's going for he threw Raylan down next to that on that shadow piece next to that jungle bush, ready to provide a nice little defensive area. And
And
then
then
he's going to be getting his knights around her.
bringing Finn right up next to them.
Right. Yeah, I'm not. So while I was thinking about this last night, I was thinking that Chris Perkins's strength is that he's got a lot more range. Sonlin can match the range of the Mara warriors, but he's only got one attack per turn. Two if he gets closer and is able to use the dragon swoop.
Yeah, that's correct. Um, with just early predictions, I am wanting to say Chris Perkins probably has a better matchup for this army. But like I said, I think we just have to see with those D20 rolls. It's going to be a very swingy game.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I think a lot of it will come down to Chris Perkins's army is going to be consistent as long as he can nail his order marker management.
That's correct. And that is a really tough thing to be able to get a hold on, especially in the later turns of the game. And somebody can steal order markers from you.
Right. Yeah. So, but as long as Chris Perkins can do that, and that'll be a huge strength to his just the game overall for him. Whereas Sir Heroscape's order marker management will likely always be pretty consistent.
Yeah.
Any inconsistency will come from, like Drew said earlier, the D20 rolls. And it looks like he's going for Raylan right off the bat with Sonlin.
Don't mind me. My devices are just dinging over here. So that is my. How about we just not do that?
That's all good. I didn't hear anything. I think we're good.
Oh, okay. Um, kind of interesting strategy from Sir Heroscape here. It looks like he is just sending a squad forward along with Sonlin. That seems like a pretty aggressive strategy.
Right. Well, I think planning is he's trying to take out Raylan as quickly as possible. We'll see that his attack with Sonlin earlier didn't quite work out on her. But he recognizes that Raylan is kind of the strongest part of that army. As long as she's giving that defensive boost, his dividers will have a hard time trying to break through any screen that the knights are able to provide.
Right. But this kind of puts Sonlin in a precarious position because now the Mara Warriors can kind of sneak in there and take a couple of pot shots at her.
Yeah, right, for sure. And so, yeah, it's like a really interesting skirmish this first round.
Or maybe he just goes after the dividers. If he can pick off a couple of dividers early on, that kind of hinders his second turn and trying to have to move more dividers back up.
Right, that's true. Those dividers in the middle, at least, do have 5 defense right now with the jungle and the shadow, so it will be pretty tough. That divider that he's shooting at right now only has 4 defense. Okay, and he gets that hit there. We'll see if it rolls to the divide. Does not.
That was pretty good, but another whiff on the attack for Chris Perkins.
Right, yeah, and so it's really coming out like just this first round is those early game advantages that each player is able to get.
Yes, the value plays. The more value you can get out of your turn, the better.
Yep, just looking for that value, incremental value that can add up to an eventual win.
That's right. All the value. So much value. Hey, Taylor, have I ever talked to you about value?
No, you have not, True. Please tell me more.
Oh, well, you see, value is very valuable, and it can be incrementally valuable to get more value in the earlier turns because the more value you accrue, the more value you get out of the game.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Tell me more about this value, True.
How much? How many
Trying
times
to
did I say value there?
I
I
don't
think
know. I
that
was
was
trying to
like
count. I lost count. I don't have that many fingers.
if you guys in the comments were paying attention, please leave a comment down below on how many times we say value with this entire video. All right, and so we're going back into the second round. We have a bunch of order markers. It looks like a good portion of order markers from Chris Perkins are on the Mara Warriors. We'll see what he decides to actually go with.
Right, yeah, he's got 2 on the Mara Warriors, 1 on the Knights, 1 on the Mezzos. I'd imagine that he's probably going to use his Mara Warriors to take some more shots and try to backpedal a little bit. But first, we've got Sir Heroscape 1 initiative, and he's running in with at least one of his dividers right now.
Yikers. We might see a death of a Mara Warrior and a Knight.
Yep, it's possible. Actually, looks like he's going to try to get Raylan while the opening is there.
Oh, yeah, that would probably be the smarter play. Don't listen to good old Trubert here. He does not necessarily see all the lines of play.
It's all good, True. We forgive you. But yeah, he's definitely going to try to put wounds on Raylan while he can. Try to get some value by taking out this Mara Warrior, but it is going to be rolling, 6 defense there? Yeah.
Oof. Yeah, this is going to be pretty tough if he can't kill Raylan.
Yeah, Raylan alone just adds so much to an army with her +2 defense. Easily the best figure in the game just with what she adds to every single army that she's in, other than Fourth Mass.
That is completely true. I think Fourth Math is the only one that really doesn't benefit from Raylan. Or, you know what? They actually still do, but like not as much.
Right, yeah.
And that was all the attacks, and not even a single wound on Raylan.
Yep.
Yikes. This is
Still
not
no
looking...
damage coming in from Sir Heroscape.
Though, if Sonlin can get into position and get a couple of good dragon swoops, that could be pretty pivotal.
Right, it could. I think part of the risk there, though, is that in order to get into a position where he can use Dragon Swoop on Raylan, he's going to have to move closer, probably onto lower height, where the Mara Warriors will be able to shoot at him a lot more easily and from high ground.
That's very true. What glyphs do we have on this map today, Taylor?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. So over on the left, we've got V for Valda, which is the movement +2 glyph. And then over on the right, we've got D for Dagmar, which is the initiative glyph.
So V for Venvalda, kind of like the movie?
Yeah, V for Vinvalda.
Sweet. Okay. Alrighty then. All right, and separating some of those Mara Warriors, if I were to guess, I would assume he would want to try to kill that divider next to... Oh, never mind. Okay.
Well, yeah, he's got that Mara Warrior is engaged, so it's got to take that shot, and then this Mara Warrior is going to go for an even ground 2 attack on 3 defense, since another one's got double bonus. But yeah, that
is
thinking.
That is brutal. 2 shots down.
All right, that shot makes it through, and we'll see if this divider divides. It does not. That would have been a really good divide, though, right up there on the front line.
All right, and then taking a pot shot at Raylan, or Sonlin. And it looks like heroes are just impervious these rounds.
Well, true. This game is called Heroscape.
It is? Wait, we're not playing Pokemon?
No. That's tomorrow night.
Taylor, you're supposed to tell me these things. How am I supposed to keep everything straight?
It's not my fault you don't read my memos.
But memos are boring. Oof, and another whiff from Sir
Another
Heroscape.
blank, yeah. And a strong attack up, but an even stronger defense from that Morrow Warrior.
That is almost maxed out defense. And
Yeah.
Sir Heroscape saying that's not fair.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about throwing Raylan into the middle like this, but she's been able to give good coverage to those Morrow Warriors. The Morrow Warriors have been able to spread out across the map, which is exactly what you want to do with them most of the time. You don't want them to all get caught at once.
Oh yeah, and it's turning out really well for Chris Perkins. He's freed up his Morrow Warriors, except for one, and so they can essentially get the board position on that on the southern half and potentially swing the game, or at least the first half of the game.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like he's even going to retreat with that forward Morrow Warrior a bit to stay away from that approaching divider and to be able to take more shots as well. Chris is playing a very defensive game, and Sir Heroscape kind of getting my emphasis a little bit mixed up. But yeah, Sir Heroscape kind of committed to an offensive battle early on as well.
Yeah, and it's turning out to be kind of detrimental. It's actually benefiting Chris Perkins here a little bit. And this is what we were saying. Those dice rolls could have been really important if he could have just divided a couple times on the front lines.
Yeah, well, there's his first divide.
Oh, there we go. Oof.
That'll be, I think that's, let's see, 1 out of 4 attempts that he's made so far, which I believe is about average. The divide roll is a 17 or higher. And so on average, you'll be rolling 1 out of 5 divides.
Not only that, I believe that divider that he just divided with will be able to get into position. Oh, not quite.
Yeah, not quite. It's still a little bit off.
However, he could take the Valdeglyph and then get into position.
That is true. And Superfrog makes a great point of annoying respawning Marrow versus annoying respawning Marrow.
Great. What a lovely game.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, I think Sir Heroscape kind of put himself into a bind here. He saw an opening for Raylan and he went for it, but now he's kind of committed to only being able to move up 2 dividers at a time while taking an attack at Raylan that's probably not going to work out. I feel like right now he's just kind of playing into Chris Perkins' hands.
I feel like Chris Perkins kind of just threw Raylan out in the middle there as almost like bait.
Yeah, it kind of seems like that at this point. I don't know if that was actually his intention, but if it was, it's working pretty well.
It's really interesting too. Has Sir Heroscape attacked with this divider on height yet? Down on Raylan?
Wait, which one?
It's the one off to the
her.
right. Off to the right of Raylan, not on Shadow.
Those are all Morrow Warriors.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, there's my eyesight there.
It's all good. It's all good. We'll fix it in post.
Oh, great. Great. I have a feeling that will not happen, but I am.
I mean, hey, empty promises are still promises.
Fair enough. Oh, and it looks like Sir Heroscape is going for what I was anticipating. Yeah, grabbing that Valda and throwing some dice.
Yep, and he finally got his first wound in on Raylan.
Oof.
Which is, it's like a big success on the one hand, but on the other hand, like he said, took him that long to deal 1 wound.
Yeah, and it's still not doing much at all against these Morrow Warriors.
Right. But yeah, I think that going back to the Valdeglyph, like you were talking about earlier, if Sir Heroscape intends to continue this offensive pressure, holding Valda will be really big for him. I believe these Mesodemons might even go for Valda just to take him off, because as long as he's on Valda, he'll be able to reinforce more quickly.
That's right. However, Mesodemons are particularly potent against, well, except with that attack.
Well,
no, never mind.
Defense, it works.
Yes, and geez. the typical Deathwalker defense roll.
I mean, Yeah.
Yep.
Twice in a row.
Oh, twice in a row.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Oof. Sir Heroscape not liking these attacks.
Yeah, Chris Perkins making the defensive play look easy right now.
That's right. Having all of his units kind of podged all around Raylan. This is oof. This is quite the game.
Yeah, I think yeah, just thinking about it right now, I think just such a hard offensive play into such a defensively superior army was probably a mistake on Sir Heroscape's part. I think that if he had gone into Sonlin a bit more in the early game, not worried about as much with the Morrow Divider development and just gone with Sonlin to try to kite some figures, go for Raylan if he could, or he could use even his Dragon Swoop to bypass the defense of squad figures and kill them.
Right.
Because he doesn't care how much defense they're rolling with Raylan, as long as he can get that 15 or higher on them.
And not only that, he could have kited back figures into his dividers.
Right, exactly. And the main problem with that is that the Morrow Warriors do match Sonlin's range, like we said earlier. And so he can't exactly pull them out of Raylan's aura, but he can just kind of make things difficult for Chris Perkins. And if we look at the order markers right now, Sir Heroscape does now have 3 order markers on Sonlin.
Right. And it looks like this is interesting. Chris Perkins won initiative and is starting off with knights. I'm not quite sure what his plans are, but if it was me, I would kind of start being more aggressive with the Morrow Warriors at this point. Seeing 3 order markers on Sonlin, I mean, if he could just steal 2 turns away from Sir Heroscape, that could be huge.
Yeah, well, I mean, Chris Perkins didn't know where Sir Heroscape's order markers were until they were revealed.
That's very true.
And so he didn't know that he was going to go all into Sonlin. Also, I think that with this little bit of lull in the pressure from the dividers, it's a good time to use your knights, reposition them, make a wall like he's doing right now to keep, basically to keep Sir Heroscape from getting any hope of.
Oh, taking back his move.
Yeah, looks like he's thinking twice about it.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, if you thought dealing with Raylan's defense was bad, try a bunch of knights on shadow spaces with Raylan's aura.
Yep, 6 and 7 defense knights out there right now. Things just got a lot harder for Sir Heroscape, but he is going into Sonlin, and we'll see.
I mean, if he can pick apart some of these squad units just on the very fringes of Raylan's aura, it could be pretty beneficial for him.
Right, yeah, and he's going around the flank. Took a Dragon Swoop at that Morrow Warrior, but did not quite make it. And only 1 skull with that attack. But that Morrow Warrior is outside of Raylan's aura. Or no, wait, no, never mind. Miscounted. It's still within range of Raylan's aura.
Right. Oof. And now the Morrow Warriors are coming into play. Oh, this is not looking great. But as we saw with Flash's and Coolio's game last time, it could be any man's game, really.
Yes, that game between Flash and Super Frog was really intense.
Ah, crap. What's a Super Frog? All the games are now merging in my brain.
All 2 of them.
All 2 of them. Oh, this is what happens when this guy doesn't get enough sleep. All right. Ooh, that's a very aggressive play from Chris Perkins there. He is just trying to go for height on Sonlin.
Yeah, I think that's more to deny that high ground from Sonlin than to make an aggressive play against him. If he can keep Sonlin off of the high ground for another turn, then he can move his Morrow Warriors to where they're all getting even height attacks. Also, if he rolls 3 skulls against 0 shields, then it's very worth it. Oh, man.
That is brutal. A Half-Life Sonlin now. That's what I'm talking about. If Chris Perkins can steal a bunch
of... man.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, what is this game?
It's a game where Sir Heroscape rolls all of his shields in 1 defense roll.
Well, and you rolled too many dice there.
Oh, okay. Well, yikes.
Okay,
Okay,
he
well,
still
he
blocks
blocked
it.
that one, but
Okay.
Sonlin, with only 2 life left, he's going to have to get some really good D20 rolls.
Right, he can heal himself, but with 4 Mara Warriors still in the game, it's not looking good at all.
Not only that, but that one Mara Warrior has locked him down. So if he wants to leave, he's going to have to take a disengagement attack and potentially take more wounds.
Right. Yeah, we'll see if he heals himself. That could make it. Oh, he does
Oh,
get the heal.
he does get the heal.
He's back
Half-life
down to
Sonlin.
half-life, so he could disengage if he really wants to. I think it's maybe worth it at this point. Although he'll probably still just have to fight the same situation, though.
That's right. Those Mara Warriors aren't going anywhere.
Yeah, that's
So,
true. So he's got to take a stand while he's got the stand, and he still only rolls 1 skull.
oof. Even outside at Raylan's aura, that Mara Warrior is able to block his attack. Sir Heroscape asking if he could buy a kill. If this was what is it, Wheel of Fortune or Price is Right? No, Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah, Wheel of Fortune.
There we go. Need to catch up on my 90s game shows.
That's all good. Next time on 10 Points Under, we cast Wheel of Fortune.
Wheel of Fortune. Up next. After
Discussing the strategy of picking which letter to do at which time. Actually, there is a lot of strategy to it, but I don't.
I don't want to get into that.
Yeah, I'm not good with that.
Oh wow! And the third order marker on Mara Warriors. This could be it for Sonlin.
Yeah, so Chris Perkins is probably going to look to just finish this off right now. He also won initiative, so if he can kill Sonlin right now, he probably steals an order marker.
Deciding to potentially take the initiative glyph, which is not a bad idea at all.
Right, yeah, because Heroscape won't be able to get him off of that initiative glyph during his next turn, and that'll just solidify his advantage even more.
Oh, taking both glyphs.
Oh, he's looking to mount a huge offensive front on the next round to kind of finish this game off. Use the Mara Warriors, kite some Mara Dividers. Maybe after killing Sonlin, we'll see.
Oof, with how these rolls have been going, I would not doubt a Sonlin kill coming in here.
Right. Yeah, he might be able to just barely pull it off. Yeah, he won't die. He will take another wound.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, no, this game on the whole, it's just been a lot. It's been a lot of high risk and low reward for Sir Heroscape, and a lot of low risk, high reward for Chris Perkins.
That's right. There is no risking it for the biscuit this game that is really worth it, in my opinion. We'll see what happens with Sonlin here. Hopefully he can get that heal.
Does not get the heal.
Maybe the swoop. One
Missed
can hope.
the swoop as well. Or no, wait. Oop, never mind. Oh, he got the swoop.
Oh, he did get the swoop. So there's no movement bonus on Chris Perkins' next turn.
Right. I think he should have reversed that, though. I think he should have swooped the Maro on high ground and then attacked the Maro on the glyph with his normal attack.
Yeah, with 5 attack. That would have been a pretty solid attack. But it looks like we'll be going into the next round with Chris Perkins getting +8 to his initiative and only 1 unit killed from Chris Perkins.
Oh, yeah, that was Sir Heroscape's first kill, too. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, we have a whole squad of Dividers +1 and a potentially almost killed Sonlin.
Right. And with Chris Perkins being on initiative glyph, you can probably guarantee that Sonlin is not going to get another turn.
Well, again, it's all about them dice rolls. As we've seen with Sir Heroscape, if he keeps up with just blanking his defense rolls, then this game is going to potentially just be in the bag.
Yeah, I'm betting Chris Perkins is probably feeling pretty comfortable right now if he takes out Sonlin like he probably will. He'll just be against a bunch of melee units, and he should have the attacks per turn and the defense in place in order to just be able to polish this off. And the 3 for initiative from Sir Heroscape, it's not going to do it. Chris Perkins rolls a 2, but the Dagmar gives him the initiative win.
Yep. And he has half of his order markers on Mara Warriors and half of them on Mezzos. This is not looking great.
Oh, he's going to move up the Mezzos first.
Not a bad plan, considering Mezzo Demons are only squads of 2 with not a whole lot of movement. But unless I read that wrong.
They've got average movement, lower range, but yeah, with only two guys in a squad. And again, with a decent lull in the offensive pressure from Sir Heroscape, this is a great time for Chris Perkins to just kind of bring up his reinforcements, get a little bit better positioning, just really solidify the ground that he's taken.
That's right. That said, if Sir Heroscape nails a bunch of his divides, it could, again, swing this game.
Right, exactly. But
up and Sonlin down. That is a big oof.
Yeah, Sonlin, not a very good showing in this game. I think he could have probably done a little bit more kiting action, kept his distance a little bit more, but I mean, again, once Sir Heroscape committed to the offense in round 1, it kind of, just guaranteed how the whole game would go. Oh, and he even had an order marker 1 on Sonlin.
Yeah, 1 turn stolen. That is pretty brutal. And it looks like Chris Perkins is just going to reformat around Raylan, make Sir Heroscape come to him.
Yep, he's going to put on his come at me face and stare across the distance. He probably doesn't even have a ton of great pot shots that he can take right now either, which is probably why he's going a little bit more defense. Well, no, he could get a few pot shots in if he really wanted to. Might be, though, actually. I'm guessing that this would mean that his next order marker is on the Mezzo Demons again.
That's correct. I think he just goes for... Oh, he does go for the water clone.
Water clone. Does not get it, though. He needed a 15 or higher without the water.
Well, luckily for Sir Heroscape, this kind of alleviates some of the pressure that was placed on him.
Well, the pressure is gone, but he also has to put the pressure on, and he does not have a great way to do that right now.
That is correct. Hopefully, he can get some dividers into places where there's not very many great shots with the Mezzo Demons, and just hope he can go in there and break the defensive line.
Yeah, exactly. If he's noticed that the next order marker is probably on the Mezzo Demons, then he can use these next 2 turns to just kind of slow roll with 6 dividers up. He doesn't have to rush in quite yet if Chris Perkins isn't going to be having a ton of attacks on him. And he can just get his dividers into a place where he won't have to string them out, and he can be able to get reinforcements in more quickly. Oh, but the order marker 3 was on the Mara Warriors. Never mind.
Oh, very interesting. With the way he played out, maybe that was just a...
He's probably just looking for that 4th one. I mean, it's still a good move, yeah, to try to get the 4th Mara Warrior while you still have 3 chances at rolling for the clone instead of 1 or 2.
That's true. Very true. We'll see what happens here. Is that shadow on lower ground than the sand hexes?
All of the shadow is going to be on level 1, so it's going to be the same level as the sand hexes, except for the 2 level 2 ones.
Gotcha. So we'll see what he decides to do with his Samara Warriors, where he decides to place them. And we got 1 skull.
Yeah, looks like he's just going to spread out a little bit, take some pot shots. Get a kill in.
Sir Heroscape, you need to bring up them defense rolls. But luckily, zero's goals is good.
Yeah, 0 skills is fine, and this divider is going to have 5 defense to roll against the attack.
This is interesting. If he blanks, hopefully he can get the divide. And oh, there's all of his defense, all in one roll.
Yep, there you go.
If dividers had range counterstrike, that would be one dead Mara Warrior.
Oh, very, very dead.
All right, we'll see what happens. Is he gonna? Looks like he's gonna move up the ones he previously moved up.
Yeah, he's going to just keep on going as offensive as possible, which I mean, we're getting to the point of the game where Sir Heroscape is very behind and he's got to just go for some big swings in order to win. But I think he's got enough dividers still that you should probably slow roll a little bit more.
Well, so here's an interesting situation. If by chance he gets a lucky divide on one of these dividers, that sets him up for a better turn to potentially swing the game. I think that's what his thought process is.
Oh, and he gets a kill.
He does. Second kill of the game for Sir Heroscape.
Yep, that's 2 Mara Warriors down.
But a blank, that's oof.
But yeah, just anyway, sorry, back to that point that you were making. I think that is a good point that if he's up there on the front lines and gets a divide, then that's happy for him. But I think with so many dividers in the start zone, I think I'd slow roll. And then still, if you get a divide, you're still dividing closer to the front line than you would be.
That is very true. I'm under, or I like the strategies of not stringing out my units. That said, dividers are a little bit more forgiving in those kinds of circumstances. So
that is true, yeah. But Chris Perkins going for the Knights. It's going to give him a lot of strong attacks for this turn, as well as helping him to maintain his own defensive line. Oh, and he's going for Valda as well.
Very good. Knights with 6
Oh, maybe not.
Maybe not. Lots of takesy backsies in these in these movements, but that's fine. We're in a more competitive setting, so it's always good to figure out where you're planning on moving your figures.
Yeah, looks like he's just going to go for the 2 strong attacks with his Knights. That's 3 skulls that will probably break through for defense. Yes, it does.
But let's see if the divide happens.
It happens.
Oof. See, this is what Sir Heroscape was hoping for.
Yep, and that's a good place to divide into as well, where it's got a lot of defense against the ranged attacks. That's another hit through, and that time it does not divide. So,
it was a hit or miss, I guess. But now he has a freed up divider to potentially skirt around, and maybe he goes for Raylan. Maybe he just tries to take out some Knights.
Yeah, it can't quite get to Raylan right now. She's really tucked back in there, but he can get some attacks, hopefully break through the Knights.
Looks like he's going to do some attacking up on some Knights. Yeah, Sir Heroscape needs some swings here. He needs some Deathwalker defense rolls. And that's not happening.
No, that was even a really good attack from him. Here's another pretty strong attack, but
again, there we go.
Oh, hey.
That's 1 Knight down.
Yeah, consistent attacks will eventually break through this high defense.
But it's going to be quite some time before he actually gets through these Knights. He still has 3 Knights to push through. And Chris Perkins commenting on his 7 defense Knights being fun.
It's kind of a one-sided fun, but
ooh, and that's interesting. Chris Perkins throwing that Meso-Demon, blocking those dividers.
That's a really good spot because the exoskeletons will let that Meso-Demon stay there as long as
he wants.
Needs it to. Yeah. Especially because with Sonlin gone, Sir Heroscape does not have any way around the exoskeletons.
Oh, and these crazy...
That's another divide.
Another divide.
So Sir Heroscape has managed to divide once and lose once for these past couple of turns. So basically, a zero-sum gain, but It's better than losing figures.
That's right. But at the same time, if this keeps happening, he might just outvalue Chris Perkins. He's already taken out 1/7 defense knight. If he can just keep throwing some attacks at him, we might have a game.
Yeah, that's true. And one of the big strengths of Sir Heroscape's army from the beginning was just having a numbers advantage. So if he can keep that, and if he can, keep getting consistent hits in, then he could win the battle of attrition. But with so much defense from Raylan coming in right now,
that's right.
It's hard to be too hopeful.
Yes, it is, especially with him maxing out his attack rolls
and still getting blanked.
Yeah,
or blocked.
Plus, Meso-Demons are really good at crunching through these common squads. So,
looks like Sir Heroscape is just going to throw in the towel.
Yep, he's not looking forward to this battle of attrition. This unbreakable pod that Chris Perkins has kind of made for himself with the Shadow and Raylan. It's going to be a long slog, says Chris.
Yeah, it makes sense. It'd be again, just kind of a battle of attrition at this point, seeing who can burn through the other faster.
And
we'll with a little bit, and we'll see if we've still got a game or not.
Not particularly set up to win this stretch. Oof, I would have to agree with Sir Heroscape here.
I mean, yeah, he's kind of outmanned, outgunned.
I mean, again, if he could get some lucky D20 rolls, it would swing the game, but that's hinging on luck there.
Exactly. And good points about the Morrow Warriors being able to respawn. Chris Perkins could easily take a turn and get 1 or 2 Morrow Warriors back into the game. And then, yeah, the Mesos with Raylan and their exoskeletons, they're going to be really, really tough for Sir Heroscape to break through.
Yeah, especially with this one on height, that's 6 defense with multiple lives. So
yeah, that's true. And one thing I did just look up, just pulled up on my other screen some probability calculators to see like how much of a chance Sir Heroscape actually has of dealing a wound on these guys. Looks like with 3 attack, he's got about a 20% chance, little less than a 20% chance to deal a wound onto a figure with 7 defense, like the Knights would have in the Shadow and Raylan. Again, 6 defense, he does have a 25% chance to break through with only 3 attacks per turn. That's not even 1 kill per turn.
And this kind of just showing the power of a hodgepodge army here. Even though he had a crazy order marker setup, Chris Perkins was able to push through. And again, Raylan and range, really powerful, especially with figures with high defense.
Oh, yes, very much so. I mean, Sir Heroscape just never had a really good answer for the power of Raylan-backed Knights and Morrow Warriors and all such. And Chris Perkins did a really, really good job of just balancing his order markers, taking the advantages when he could, moving forward with his Knights when there was a lull in the activity.
That was some pretty impressive gameplay from both players. And I'm not sure how the tournament works. Does that mean Chris Perkins gets to go on?
Yeah, so this tournament in particular is going to be played until there is only 1 undefeated player. So that means Chris Perkins does move on. Everybody will keep playing rounds to see how well they do overall, of course, because it's just fun playing Heroscape. I love Reverse the Whip armies, and I love to test out my army against as many players as I can. But yeah, that does mean that Chris Perkins will be, advancing.
All right, then. Chris did a very well job, and I can't help to think that he intentionally baited Raylan out there in the middle.
Yeah, just going off of their conversation right now, that's base that Chris Perkins put Raylan on, gave her some really good coverage, and had her with 5 defense against Sonlin's attacks. Really, really good spot to take.
They make a very interesting wall, says Chris. All right. Well, I believe that's going to kind of wrap up this game. Taylor, do you have any closing thoughts?
Yes, true. I think the world is beautiful.
Great.
I never prepare for the closing thoughts.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. Again, both players played very well. Chris, going on to the next round, we'll be doing more of these tournament videos in the future.
Yep, we hope so. We've got, again, this tournament is underway currently. I'll be recording as many videos as the players will allow me to and as time allows me to, and we'll get a lot of more high-level play. This was a really good game, really well played on both parts, and I think a pretty good insight to how these online tournaments play out.
I am really interested to see people swap armies and see how they contend playing with armies that they've never played with before.
Oh yeah, it's a really fun tournament to follow. I'll throw a link to the tournament thread in the description below as well, so that if I can't get a ton of videos, you can still follow along and at least keep on the action through reports of who wins and stuff.
Excellent. All right, guys. Well, we're going to close it up here. Thank you for watching 10 Points or Under, in which the strategies are made up and the points don't matter. This has been your host, True, followed by...
me. Big Bullfrog.
That one guy. He's a frog. Not Triple Frog. Not Super Frog. But Big Bullfrog.
Yeah, the biggest.
All right. Well, you guys have a great day, and like, comment, and subscribe for more, and we'll see you all next video. See ya.
Bye.